What's going on with ya? This is your boy, Big MC, aka Mark, aka Skater Claus, aka Robert James Winterborn, aka a lot of things. And I'm here with you with another hip hop breakdown video today with a very special guest, Tyrus. Tyrus, do you have any nicknames?
I don't know.
He doesn't know, but his nickname is Stinky. So, Tyrus is going to be here with us today, and again, if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, please check them out. Make funny faces. I thought you said you were going to make funny faces. But, so if you haven't watched the previous videos, check them out. One of the things I try and do is have both artist and theme tie-ins through the videos. So check those out. Last time we talked about basically passing off the microphone within verses and groups that do that effectively. And so what I wanted to talk about, one of the things that I brought up in the last video was, do you remember what it was? Tyrus doesn't remember. But what I brought up in the last video was kind of old school production style, meaning like sample based, that kind of sprang out of the hip hop tradition of spinning records and digging through crates, versus more new school stuff that's most of the time completely electronically created, and also more like influenced by EDM and stuff like that. And one point I want to make in this video is that neither one is better than the other, but I get upset sometimes because I feel that a lot of times artists get panned who are using the old school style of like sample-based hip-hop production, because people are saying that they're not being innovative with the beats that they select and the beats that they use, the beats that they make, which I think is kind of whack. I mean, both are great. There's no reason why one's better than the other. So I'm just going to give some examples of old school versus new school. And again, artist tie-ins and theme tie-ins. So the first tie-in is Mighty Haiku. I talked about them in the last video. They're one of my favorite Atlanta-based hip-hop groups. Last time I talked about the Cunning Linguists and Mr. SOS as an example of group that passed off the mic between members really effectively during the verse. At least smile. Come on. And so Mighty Haiku is Mr. SOS, formerly of the Cutting Linguists, A-Bomb, and Ricky Raw. And Ricky Raw is a really cool guy. He's a promoter. He's a producer. He's a rapper. He's a staple of Atlanta. I mean, they all are. So this is Mighty Haiku. The song is called All the Way, and it has an official music video that's dope. So check out the music video. I'm just going to play, the first part, which is Mr. SOS rhyming. So let's listen to that, and then Tyrus will tell us what he thinks about it, and I'll tell you what I think about it. So here we go. This is All the Way by Mighty Haiku.
Jay Padrone, Eddie Go, West Green, and Haiku.
All the way, thought you knew what I was gonna say. Ooh. Underlay, speedy, you cheesy like Monterey. Ooh. Mighty Haiku, more hot in the roof. We slide in the booth, provide you the truth. The music they do is obtuse, my view is acute. Boom is profuse, just do it for stupid excuse. And when they say I'm the greatest, I agree, cause that's an astute observation. I'm baking the cake and I'm lacing it with something highly contagious. Sucker punch all of you sucker ducks, just good suck like a sucker, but switch up amazing.
All right, so that is All the Way by Mighty Haiku. It's the first verse again with Mr. SOS. Tyrus, what did you think about the first verse?
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, and there's a really cool car in the video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, though, what I want to say about this is it's great, but it's more, as you could hear, like EDM influenced. I believe it's probably created completely electronically. And you know, back in that day, people didn't have the technology that we have now that they could produce beats that way. And so, you know, the whole culture of hip hop sprung out of people spinning records and, you know, mixing records and being an old school style DJ. And, you know, there's a lot of people to this day who still spend a lot of time digging through crates, looking through, you know, records, trying to find obscure samples and put their songs together completely just from taking samples from records. So what we're going to go into next is MF Doom. I got the shirt on. Do you like MF Doom?
Yeah.
MF Doom is one of my favorites of all time. So anyway, what I'm going to play is off of the classic album, Food. And this, actually, I'm not even going to play any of the rapping, even though Doom is one of the dopest rappers of all time. This is the beginning of Beef Rap, which is the first track on the album. And it's basically just a sound collage put together from obscure samples from different stuff. So take a listen to this and just kind of think about how it's different and how, you know, it's constructed as a sound collage from, you know, different things, rather than just making a beat on a program. And again, one's not better than the other. I'm just trying to point out the differences. So this is the beginning of Beef Rap by
Doom.
Doom!
Now I haven't eaten all day. How am I gonna do this? Yeah, don't wait for her, man. Don't wait for her. I'll tell you what, man. Come with me now, and you know I'll get you some lunch. I'll hook you up with something. I got a little back, you know, no problem.
I hear you. That's cool.
All right, it's cool.
Hey, can't you guys just wait here about a half hour, man?
Yo, I'll be back, man. I'm just gonna munch up a little bit, man. I'm pretty hungry.
Yo, let him come
serious.
back.
Here you will find food for your body, as well as comfort for your troubled mind. I'd really like some soup.
Bread and butter.
Of course, my friend. But take it to your hand.
Regular storage procedure. The same as the other food. Fish. Protein.
Go ahead.
Well, the cop got me. Next morning, I went to the store to get some food. They arrested me.
I'll save you.
Thank you.
Would you like a snack?
Thanks for the drink.
Enough. You talk of the people's rights. The people have only those rights which I choose to give them. And that is for their own good. Believe me. I do. They disappoint me. They must work faster.
But the prisoner.
Ah, yes. The young traitor who is trying to turn my people against me. Watch him. I have special plans for that one.
Beef Rap. Coming to getting teeth capped or even.
All right, so that's the beginning of Beef Rap, which is the first song off the classic album, Food. Tyrus, what do you think?
It was pretty good.
Yeah, so again, you can hear, instead of just being kind of like a produced beat, it is just a bunch of samples put together that works. It probably utilized, I would think, a drum machine at the very least, but still, most of it's just made out of samples. And again, one of the things I want to say is that I feel sometimes what happens is there's people out there who will, you know, review music, and there's people like Doom who are dope lyricists, and as they go on, they're growing themselves as lyricists and as producers. But they sometimes just don't get the credit because people are like, oh, well, this is the same thing that they were doing back in the 90s, you know? which to me I think is whack. Like, just because they're using the same production techniques doesn't mean that it's any less valid. And I think that it's important for us to continue growing like lyricism, which they're doing. They're pushing the boundaries, and I also think it's important for people to push the boundaries of what can be done with production. But I don't think that people should kind of be, their music should be panned just because they're using the same production style that they've been using since the 90s. So that is MF Doom. He's one of my favorite ever. Probably going to be a video on its own. I know Tyrus likes Doom, right, Tyrus?
Yeah.
Yeah. So next we're going to go into a song by Prob Cause. That's another tie-in. This song features Chance the Rapper, but I'm not going to play Chance's verse. However, the song's absolutely dope. It's called LSD. It has an official video, which is dope. Prob is amazing. Other than being a great rapper, he's an amazing visual artist. So anytime he puts out a video, it's always dope. He also, has, I talked before, he worked with a lot of different people. One of the tracks that I would definitely suggest looking into is called, I believe it's called 3-Course Meal, with Action Bronson, Prob, and Chance. And they all take a verse. But Chance the Rapper's, I mean, they're all great. They're all great verses. Chance the Rapper's verse, in my opinion, though, is just insane. It's really good. So I'm going to play the beginning of this. And again, this is, more new school. I would say like EDM influence, like electronically created. But then it also does have a vocal sample in it, which I have no idea where it's from. And I'm sure it's probably an obscure vocal sample that was kind of difficult to find. So this is kind of like a mix between old school and new school. So give this a listen. This is LSD by Prob Cause featuring Chance the Rapper. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So round, 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 round.
The drug was administered in a drink of water given at the start of each day's exercise. 25 minutes later, the first effects of the drug became apparent. The men began to relax and to giggle.
Lost, take a walk to the lake to ease my mind and I wander. Trying to get up in my own zone, no I don't really want to. So, lay back in the grass looking up at marshmallow clouds. And the sunshine loud, but it's freaking shade and way too high. Wanna thank this day, wanna make that point that it could've been great. Could've been back, could've lost our way. But we still here and we just won't fade. See so clear when I'm in this place. Life is a drug, so take its place. Lucy, 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 in the sky with time is who I chase. Purple haze, purple hearts, mellow yellow, hello y'all. Electro Kool-Aid cool me down. Strawberry fields when I make my rounds. Pick them all, eat them fresh. This that life and I feel so blessed. I know there's stress, but I don't wanna hear that mess. This, that, next, and I feel the effects, yes. And I really wanna make this day go on forever. These revelations got me seeing life like I just never. So sublime, so just a wine and take this trip with me. There's something in the water, here, lay front cruising on LSD.
Okay, so that was LSD. That's the first verse with Prob Cause. Chance comes in the second verse and he destroys it. So check it out. The video is great. Tyrus, what did you think?
It was really, really good.
It was really good. He liked it. So, I mean, it's got the seal of approval from Tyrus the man. So next I want to go into another tie-in from the last video, which is Czarface. I talked about them because, again, they're a tight group that's really adept at passing the mic off back and forth between verses. But they also are absolutely old school boom bap sample based style. It's a group where the producer is one producer. It's 7L. Esoteric, who have worked together forever, and then they joined up with Inspector Deck. And on this track, this is an album they put out with MF Doom, which is Czarface meets Metalface. So I'm going to try and cue up the MF Doom verse in this song, which I didn't cue it first, so I'm sorry if I screw it up a little bit. But anyway, these guys are straight up just like old school. You know, 7L's great at spinning records and creating beats. And one thing I'll say too is, again, when I get upset because sometimes I think that this is a style that, you know, people don't appreciate as much as they should. But if you go see a hip-hop show that has a really dope DJ and they're really good with cuts, it's amazing, and you can really appreciate how awesome of an art form it is. I know that there's a few I can point out. One of them would be, you know, I've never seen 7L, but Jedi Mind Tricks, they tour with a guy named DJ Question, and he's really dope on the ones and twos. And also DJ Muggs. I mean, he's a legend in the game, absolutely. You know, probably one of the best ever. And I saw him at Rock the Bells with Ill Bill. And, I mean, he's just amazing. And it's one of those things where if you see it live, it adds to the show, and you can really appreciate it as an art form. Again, not to detract from people who don't actually spin records. I mean, both are valid. But I like the fact that it kind of sticks to the hip-hop tradition. So give me a second. Let me try and cue this up to the right spot. I'm probably going to mess it up, but let's see. I think it might be 2 minutes.
Jet lag, good afternoon, that night. Militants speak proper, some airheads say they act white. Catch flight, red, green, soul, tense, pack light. Got jokes, but usually don't engage in no snap fight. Could we consider a waste confronting snakes on the backbite? Detrimental to culture that they like sight. Ass white, catch them on stage, mad hype, with a crash mic. Month later in the gutter, glass pipe and a flashlight. Look around for something, he's still scurrying. The wheels incite riots, minds going blurry. It wasn't really shit to say, much to their chagrin or dismay. The licks had him on the ropes when he made a big mistake and hit the hay. Went home and hit the day. Burned the midnight oil and fixed shit a different way. Disaster, time is a component. Setting fire to rappers in a monumental moment. And the game's potent. It's like a never-ending quotient. A minute ago it was smiles and hugs. Now where the fuck the door went? He's so bent, it's like he said the shit straight again. Bombs from the dropping, he ain't even close to saying when. But villain, nothing ever stolen. What's given is a blessing. Think the universe owe him. Got faith in the vessel, but no one to keep rowing. Yeah, and get about your own way with delivering a poem. Those are things they do, don't know them. No different than a squad of birds ready to blow them. Sorry, Charlie, get back up on your Harley. Win, lose, or draw, plus beat you at Atari. Drop the ass deep in some far-off safari. And probably even got the answer to who the hell are we? Metal-faced squadron, tell a real one, shalom. In a calm tone, bomb tone.
All right, so that was Bomb Throne. It was Doom's verse off of the Czarface album. The title is Czarface meets Metalface. Tyrus, what did you think about the song?
It was great.
What did you think about the video?
It was really cool.
It's got an official video. The video is dope. Check out the video. You gotta see it. Would you say you gotta see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta see it. All right, so that's Czarface. Again, you know, this is an old school type production. I mean, I'm not exactly sure how this beat was created, but I believe almost everything in that was probably sample-based. And, you know, again, it's a throwback to the traditions of hip-hop, and it represents a lot of hours spent digging through crates. And nothing wrong with, you know, making stuff in Ableton, you know, programs like that, but, you know, a lot of times people, like I said before, would just be like, hey, you know, this is the same thing that people have been doing since the 90s. And it's like, yeah, but, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to do one last track, and then we're going to cut out. And this is another one by Mighty Haiku, because I love Mighty Haiku. And when I say Mighty Haiku, just for those of you who may not know, It's not haiku as in a poem. It's the word mighty and the word high, High, and then coup, Coup. So check out Mighty Haiku if you ain't seen them. This is the song Weed About It. Again, it's got an official video. The official video is dope. We're going to listen to the last verse with A-Bomb. And again, so we listened to one with SOS. We listened to, we're going to listen to one with A-Bomb. I'm not going to play anything with Ricky Raw today, but I'll get to Ricky Raw at a certain point. And all three of those guys have different projects, solo projects, and different groups they've been in. So, you know, check out all of them. They're all dope. So, this is Weed About It. And again, this is like more like bass influence, EDM influence, like electronically created hip hop. So, just trying to play this to show the contrast between the styles.
Extra, read about it. You man, smoke a little weed about it. You said, smoke a little weed about it. It ain't that bad to smoke a little weed about it. Ain't no sense in getting hyped up and heated about it. It ain't that bad. Smoke a little weed about it. You can get the whole thing for less than 3,000. Dope boy, one it in at least 3 counts. And if you need a little weed, you come see me about it. Home team, you can get a couple G's about it. Everywhere I kick it, I got P's around. Couple sour D's, couple OG's around. So we already told you, we bad. The way we be fucking around, blowing these out. Stick my name, I need a chimney to blow steam out. And now the snorter and I blow to make a ski mile. Okay, I'm flexing now. We about to pass my exit. How we get so far so fast? Think my head kept going in and out. Funny, her head kept going in and out. Yeah. Wow.
All right. So that was Weed About It. Mighty Haiku. Tyrus, what'd you think?
It was kind of good.
Yeah, you didn't like it as much?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tyrus didn't like it as much, but it, you know, it's still good. But again, you can hear that's very bass heavy, kind of electronic, EDM influence, bass music influence, and it's good. I'm just trying to say, draw the contrast, and again, want to point out that, you know, both styles are great, but don't sleep on artists who are, you know, still using the production styles from the past, because it's dope. Also, one thing I want to note is, you know, if you're watching this and you're like, hey, you're listening to some music with questionable content with your child, I would say that, you know, there are lines that I will draw. You know, I'm a big fan of like Jedi Mind Trick and stuff, but there's definitely stuff I won't play. But I mean, this isn't, it's art. This is art, and you have to expose, I think you have to expose your kids to good quality artwork, and that, you know, you can make exceptions as far as content when it comes to that. You know, it's like people, you know, getting upset about their kids seeing the Statue of David because you can see, like, you know, it's anatomically correct. Like, that's just ridiculous. When it comes to, you know, using this type of language, it's absolutely, you know, not allowed in the house. But that's not to say I won't let him listen to certain stuff, because, again, I mean, it's artwork. This isn't just, you know, listening to people talk dirty. This is artwork. So, yeah, so, like, again, theme is just, you know, old school, new school. Both are great. But respect the old school. Don't pan it just because it's not, you know, pushing the boundaries of, you know, what you can do technically with beat making. As far as the next video, I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do, but I think Tyrus, do you want to be in the next video?
Yes.
Tyrus wants to be in the next video, so we'll have Tyrus back. I'm not sure what the topic is gonna be. But I think maybe what I might do is talk about, since we did Mighty Haiku, maybe we'll talk about Atlanta artists, because there's other ones I want to highlight, like The Difference Machine, and talk about artists in Atlanta that I think are absolutely dope, and then artists that suck. Because, to tell you the truth, I don't really like a lot of this mumble rap trap, and stuff like that. But then there are people who do it effectively. So, yeah, maybe that will be the next video. What do you think? Should we talk about Atlanta rap?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about Atlanta rap next video. So keep an eye out. We're checking for that. But anyway, keep it real. Keep it in the streets. Skater Claus. Support your boy. Peace, love, respect. Be good and don't get captured. All right, this your boy Skater Claus. This your boy Tyrus. We out.